Unveiling the Identity Crisis, a graphic novel ignites outrage among Métis groups. In the heart of Canada, a graphic novel titled Rocking Spurs, the Anti-Bullying Tour, has ignited a raging debate that threatens to unravel the very fabric of Métis identity. At the center of this storm lies a fundamental question: who has the right to claim Métis heritage? The historical backdrop of Métis identity. The Métis people emerged in the 1800s in Western Canada's Red River region, descendants of a mixed lineage of European and First Nations ancestry. Historically marginalized by colonial powers who branded them as traitors, the Métis have fought tirelessly for their distinct culture, language, Michif, and sovereignty. Along the historic fur trade routes, intermarriages were commonplace, leading to mixed relationships and a shared heritage. However, the term Métis has become a contested identity, with varying interpretations across Canada. Eastern Métis versus Western Métis. While the Métis of Western Canada trace their lineage to a specific group in the Red River region, groups in Eastern Canada, such as New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Quebec, have asserted a broader interpretation of Métis identity. These Eastern Métis, as they are known, lack the same historical ties and homeland as their Western counterparts, and their status as Métis is vehemently disputed by those in the West. The graphic novel at the heart of the dispute. The graphic novel, Rocking Spurs, explores the complexities of Métis identity, particularly the experiences of an Métis artist from Quebec who faces bullying over her Eastern Métis heritage. The book's portrayal of Eastern Métis has drawn the ire of Métis leadership, who argue that it undermines their sovereignty and identity. Métis National Council, MNC, condemns the book. Cassidy Caron, president of the Métis National Council, MNC, unequivocally denies the existence of Eastern Métis. Our communities come from the historic Northwest, she stated. The MNC has pledged to take action and demand the removal of the book from schools, asserting that it erodes Métis sovereignty. Manitoba Métis Federation, MMF, echoes concerns. David Chartrand, president of the Manitoba Métis Federation, MMF, echoed the MNC's concerns. This attempt to make it look like we're a bunch of mixed bloods, that you can have an ancestor going back several hundred years and that you can claim you're Métis, that is so far from what being Métis is, he said. Indigenous Summit condemns identity fraud. The dispute over Rocking Spurs erupted just days after a summit where First Nations, Inuit, and Métis groups met to address the growing threat of identity fraud. The summit condemned the Métis Nation of Ontario, MNO, and Nunatukavut for allegedly undermining their sovereignty by claiming Métis or Inuit identities. Government's response. Métis groups fear that the federal government may push through self-governance legislation that could expand Métis claims and dilute their constitutionally protected rights. Lisa Binkley, assistant professor of history at Dalhousie University, argues that there are diverse interpretations of Métis identity across Canada. We're a diverse land, she said. And we should be embracing that and not trying to suppress information about our history. Chartrand's defiance. Chartrand remains defiant in the face of the challenges to Métis identity. Canada is not taking this seriously, he said. They think it's just one person and one story about what it means to be Métis. However, he warns that a storm is brewing, threatening to disrupt Canada's approach to Indigenous identity and rights. In the wake of the controversy over Rocking Spurs, the Métis people stand at a crossroads, facing the formidable task of preserving their distinct identity while navigating the complexities of modern society. The outcome of this battle will have far-reaching implications for the future of Indigenous rights and reconciliation in Canada.